Well, as you know, I am here in Phoenix, Arizona. And in 2008, 9, and 10, Phoenix wore the crown for the worst place probably in the world to be buying real estate. We had the worst business market there was. We just did a terrible job. In 2009, I could be buying properties for my investors below cost. $50 a square foot. We were buying 1,500 square foot, almost new buildings, $75,000. Now, I think we're going to get that opportunity again, probably not here in Phoenix, because Phoenix actually is not really overbuilt. We have so much business coming in here. It's amazing. You know, we've got those brand new chip plants that are just like crazy, bringing in thousands and thousands of very highly paid jobs. And of course, we just got Nestle's, we just got Kohler, we just got uh, Sub-Zero and Wolf. So business is just absolutely outstanding. And of course, all these people need a place to live. And we live next door to California. Thank you, California, because people are leaving there in droves. They can't get out of there quick enough. And we're the first stop on your way to freedom. And they come here and we're buying properties. So Phoenix, probably not such a bad place. However, we're hearing places around the country. Now, you know, on my prior videos, and if you like my videos, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe. Boy, does that help us out. If you go back and look at some of the videos, you know that we're at the end of the timing model. Timing model is showing that we are peaking and the cycle's rolling over. It does this every 18 years, just like clockwork. So we're there. You know, that big run up we had, well, we're going to have that run down just to equalize everything. All the excesses get to be worn out, and we start all over again. And when it starts all over again, those that are standing just make an absolute fortune like we did in 2009. We made a lot of money. We made generational money. You're going to have that opportunity coming now, even here in Phoenix, that we're not going to be immune. We're going to have a good deal. But some places around the country are just going to get really in trouble. So I don't want you to do that quite yet. I don't want you to buy anything quite yet. And I want you to be careful. You know, Texas, we're hearing stories like in Houston that there's 11,000 specs available in Houston, 9,000 in Austin. I don't think they get the full amount because in the great financial crisis, we had not quite 1.5 million specs available, buildings completed. There are reasons for that. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. And now we're way over that. We're over at 1.7 million. I think we're going to go to 2 million specs. And we do that because builders get in trouble. So let's just let me go to my slide here. Let's just talk about what happens to these builders. Now, builders need land to build. Now, typically they go out and buy a farm. They're out at the edge of the metro area, the edge of the city, because that's where they can accumulate large parcels and get them at a fairly good price. Now, I'm going to tell you, in 20 and 21, land was comparatively cheap as compared to what it is now, and financing was cheap. 2, 3, 4%. Now it's like 8 to 12%, and of course it's compounding on them. So when they buy a piece of property like this, maybe they spend $20 million on a piece of property. They're going to pay 8 to 12% right off the get on this, and this has no revenue for them. Now, lenders today, they don't like this because look at the risk that they're running. Here they have a piece of property that really has no value. I mean, it's great for a farm, but when you start paying new home prices for it, well, until it becomes a new home lots, it doesn't have that value. Let me go to my next slide. Let's talk about what they have to do. Because I'm going to tell you, the builders, first, they got to acquire the property. Then they've got to go through zoning with the cities. They've got to get it platted. They got to get it surveyed. They got to start talking about where they're going to bring in the streets and the sewers. And of course, in the meantime, they may have people in the neighborhoods that are saying, no, we don't want a development here. And they've got to go through all kinds of zoning, and they've got to go through meetings to make sure that they can, and they got environmental. So it just takes them a really, really long time. So it could take 2 to 3 years. Now, in 2021, that was a pretty good idea. Let's buy some land and build some houses. Well, when you get to 2024 and the cycle is starting to roll over, and it is rolling over, we know that. I mean, you can just look around and see it. Look at the commercial. Commercial's leading the way. Well, when they do that, so 3 years ago was a good idea. Today, not so good an idea. So they've got to get out of this land because it is an alligator. It just chases them, doesn't bring any revenue in, and costs them an absolute fortune to maintain. And it's getting worse because interest rates continue to go up and builders are starting to bring their underwriting in. They need to get rid of the land. How does a builder get rid of the land? Because it's got a tremendous cost carry. Doesn't pick up the phone and call one of his builder friends and say, hey, please come buy my land. Because the builder's saying, I want to get out of my land too. I don't want to buy yours. I want to get rid of mine. So the only way they can get rid of the land is to build it out. That's why you've got this enormous amount of spec homes, because once the buildings are up or even into the ground, permitted, well, then the lenders become very, very committed to, they're all on the same page. They want to get this going. Up until then, they're concerned that the lender is going to pull the plug. Let me go to the next slide. There's so much has to be doing. So once you get the land done, then you got to build models. You have to design them. You have to do marketing. You have to hire salespeople. You got to do a marketing and advertising campaign. You got to bring the streets and sewers and utilities in, water and electric. You got to bring in cable. There's so many things that have to be done. You've got to get streets and curbs and sidewalks in, and you have to pay all these people to do that. And it just costs an enormous amount of money. So you're just spending, and you keep having this enormous meter running for your interest. And then once you get this going and you start building, well, it costs money. If you call up the lumberyard and say, hey, look, send me out a framing package, well, they want to get paid. They don't want to wait for 6 months for you to sell this house and get it done. So they all need to be money. So this is an enormous amount of money that gets done. As interest rates go up, it's going to start destabilizing a lot of these builders. And that's why these builders want to get rid of these properties. That's why they're giving concessions. That's why they're giving me and my industry, they're giving us bonuses. Just bring them in the door. We'll do the rest. We'll give them concessions. We'll get all the appliances, washer, dryer, refrigerator. We'll put landscaping front and back. We'll put window treatments on. We'll make it rent ready. We'll do whatever it takes. Please buy our properties. Because they want to get rid of them. That's why we have all these specs. Some are not going to survive. Now, I'm expecting that we're going to have a pretty doggone good opportunity to buy these things like we did in 2009. Because it's all financed. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've seen builders where the financer just comes in and say, we are done and you are done. And we're not going to give you one more dime. And once that happens, it's over with. So wherever they are in construction, once the lenders pull the plug, and I'm going to tell you that is coming, because you can see this. You have all this default. We have commercial space, multifamily. We have towers. We have office buildings that are all coming up for refinance, and they're becoming non-viable. And the builders the lenders are getting it back, and they're taking huge losses. And this is, you can see this when the real estate cycle is ending. Right at the moment, you've got commercial leading the way, and when all this liquidity starts drying up, because you have a default, just sucks out the liquidity, just goes away. So there's no more liquidity for anywhere else. So they'll pull the plug on a builder, and once that happens, what great opportunities! And I'm expecting to do that. In the meantime, I think we can beat up some builders. They're scared. They're really scared. They want to sell these properties. They want to sell them and sell them bad. So we can beat them up. I'd like to talk to you if you want to buy them in bulk with us. We'd like to do that. Please be careful around the country. We're really good. We can be more than happy to do some consulting. We'll work with your lenders and your professionals and see if we can't be on a consulting team with you. In the meantime, have a great Memorial Day. My very, very best to you. Let me go to my next slide. This is where I'm at. If you'd like to reach us, we're always happy to do consulting with you. My best. Bye-bye now.